What's up to our sidekicks and henchfolk out there in the mother-loving geek nation? Welcome to the National Weather Service's official CultPop podcast, episode 85, a show where we talk about movies and TVs and comics and Van Halen needle drops and all the other things that scratch your nerdy little itches. We're coming to you live from Young Chunk Studios in...
I thought you were supposed to pause and one of us... Young Chunk.
Oh, we're coming to you live from Young Chunk.
Young Chunk.
HQ, a bomb-ass podcasting production space in Philadelphia, PA.
Pull that out, localize it, so you get that sound bite. Young Chunk.
Perfect.
Okay.
I'm your windswept host, JD of Johnny Destructo's Hero Complex, located at 4327 Main Street, Philadelphia, PA 19127. It's a rad comic shop that caters to you rad folks out there, so come be rad and buy my shit. With me tonight to talk about things and stuff and junk is Alice.
I love talking about junk.
And no,
I love talking about stuff.
I'm not saying anything. Also in the booth is our trusty producer, Dylan the Great.
What up?
That was great.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty great.
Because it was from Dylan.
Before we jump into tonight's show, we want to thank you for joining us. If you're here with us live, get in the, I'm pointing to it, but you can't see it. We've got a whole big screen here where we can see your chats. So feel free to comment, like, subscribe, hit the bell icon so you know when we do this here nasty stuff. We love a little back and forth also, so chime in by typing into your email thing.
You're nasty.
CultPopGo@gmail.com. For tonight's main topic, we're going to review 1996's Twister.
Singular.
Just one Twister. In preparation for this weekend's remake, Twister.
Remake?
Requel?
Remake?
Oh, that's how you pronounce it. Remake?
I still am not sure. I don't think they're connected whatsoever. It's just another movie about...
You don't think this is like their children?
No.
No.
No, not at all. I think explicitly not at all.
Five cream? Then
Yeah.
cream.
Mm.
It's not a reboots. A reboots or requel with robots.
Before we get into that, I'd like to introduce a new old segment. Used to be called What You Been Up To This Week? But now I've decided I don't want to annoy my friends. So I'm just going to ask them, what's poppin'? So, hey, Alice.
You did.
I walked right into it.
You did the thing already. It was like, I'm gonna make the noise. I'm gonna make the noise.
Hey,
what's poppin'?
Yeah, his question.
I went to Blobfest this weekend.
You went to Blockbuster? What?
Oh, I wish I went to Blockbuster. I miss Blockbuster. All right, we're changing the topic.
What? Blockbuster memory. Go.
Every Friday night, would go with my family. Me and my older brother. My sister wasn't around yet. Me and my older brother would pick out a movie, and he'd pick like a video game or something. And then we'd come home. We'd pick our candy and everything. Junior mints, of course. And yeah, we'd make popcorn at home. We'd sit and we'd make a fort, like a little blanket fort, and we'd watch our movies. It was the best.
Do you have a localized memory of a specific movie that you were like wanted to rent? And like so excited that there was a cassette behind the fucking box or the DVD behind the box, because like it would always be like I see all the new ones, and then there's no rental copies behind it. And you're like, yes.
That's a good question. I don't know.
You can think about it.
Yeah.
And then they started doing a thing where it was like guaranteed to be in stock,
Yeah.
and then if it wasn't, you would get a free rental or something. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, I missed that shit.
What about you? Core memory?
Yeah. Just every Friday night, going and spending longer than the length of a movie to decide what movie to rent.
I just liked walking around in a Blockbuster.
Yeah, just looking at stuff, reading the backs.
I spent summers with my dad in Chicago, and he was at work all day from like 6 a.m. to 3 or 4, and then took a nap. But I had a Blockbuster card, and it was a bike ride away. So I would, like at noon, go to Blockbuster and just walk around and like memorize all the stuff and pick out what I'm going to rent and not going to rent and how long. And I would memorize the release dates of shit.
Oh.
Like I would just hang out at Blockbuster.
Yeah.
And be like, oh,
I bet they
Tuesday.
love that.
I mean, I didn't sit there and ask them questions. It was big enough.
Yeah.
But I would just walk around. Yeah.
Nice.
I
like to do that also at Barnes & Noble.
Yeah.
I just like walking around.
Yeah,
Physical media is rad.
Yeah.
It is.
I'm sorry.
Blobfest.
No,
Blobfest.
I'll enunciate this time. It was Blobfest.
Uh-huh.
And it was fest. at the Colonial.
Theater.
Phoenixville, Pennsylvania. And it was fantastic. I had a great time.
The Blob, for anyone who doesn't know, is a 1958 American independent science fiction horror film directed by Irvin Yeaworth and stars Steve McQueen. And it's about a blob that eats you.
Yeah. That's it. And we saw it. The reason there's Blobfest in Phoenixville is because there's a famous shot of it where the blob is like taking over a movie theater and people run out of the theater. And the Colonial is the theater that they shot it at.
Right.
That's right.
So they do it every year. It was my first time going. I was really excited. My friend Danielle came up for it. We went to the first showing of the original 1958 Blob. Saw it in the theater.
Was that your first time seeing it?
No, I'd seen it already, like a long time ago. But it was I'd forgotten
still
some
holds
of it.
up.
It's
actually
cool.
a pretty solid ass.
Yeah.
It's solid. And it was just so fun. The crowd was into it. Everybody was like laughing, like saying their little comments. It was fun. It was a fun crowd to be with. But it was so hot there. So I didn't hang around the fest very long. We saw every booth. We did our walk up and down the street, picked up a couple of items. I got a cool t-shirt and a cool pennant of Mothman because me and Danielle love Mothman.
Hell yeah.
So we got matching pennants of just Mothman to hang up.
Oh, wait, I'm thinking of hell yeah, what's his name? Kite Man. I'm thinking of Kite Man.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, Mothman. Oh, fuck. Kite Man.
But yeah, we had a great time in the movie theater.
Yeah.
And also just walking around the booth, seeing everybody's art was really cool. But it was just so hot, we couldn't stay around very long.
I think we know each other because of the Colonial Theater, yes?
What?
So, we would go separately to the
probably.
Colonial Theater. There was a group of fine people there, and we were both on the periphery of that friend group.
13, 14 years ago.
Yeah. And I used to
years
do posters for the Colonial. The Colonial will do Friday Night Fright Nights and
Cult Saturday or Friday Cult
something.
First Friday Cult week.
Yeah.
2 screenings a month on a Friday night at 9ish
Of a
that are
cult
either a
movie
horror
and a
movie
horror
or cult movie. Yeah.
Yeah, so I would get pegged to do a special piece of art poster for that showing. And so that's how I got involved.
And I was just friends with a lot of people that would
Yeah.
set up those screenings and stuff, and would go to the get drunk in Phoenixville
At the bar across the
and then
street. Yep.
stumble into the Colonial at like 9ish
Yeah.
and try to either stay awake or not be loud.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it was,
For an
it was
old
a lot
movie.
of, it was
Yeah,
a
it
lot
was
of fun.
sometimes we would just stay in the lobby and talk throughout the
Yes,
whole movie.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because it was a movie we'd all seen like 700 times.
Yeah.
So we would just keep
That's fun.
hanging out in the
it's
lobby. Yeah.
great. Highly
a fun time.
recommend the
Let's do that again.
Colonial
Let's
Theater.
bring that back.
Yeah.
I want to join.
They still do
drunk
the
and go to the
screenings, but yeah, and like the Blobfest has been kind of it's been going on for a very long time.
Yeah.
This was the
30
25th
years.
anniversary.
25th?
Yeah, this was the big 25th anniversary.
But it is a full weekend. The last couple of years I have skipped it because it's been so fucking hot.
It's middle of July. It was brutal.
Yeah,
That's why I picked like the earliest showtime to go to. But then I realized I didn't time out well because then we're walking around at like noon, and I'm like, oh, so now it's the hottest time of the day, and I'm walking on asphalt.
There's the Blob Fest is like they've got the Blob Ball, which is like a dance, like a 50s style dance across the street afterwards. They do the run out. They recreate the run out. There's a parade and then screenings all weekend. Yeah, it's just a cool. It's like a also anybody that's interested in stuff like punk rock flea market style stuff or horror theme. Yeah, it's definitely like on the street there. Yeah, and my wife is in the chat saying that I never brought her. That is correct. We've never gone. If you'd like to do that next July 4th, let me know.
I'll go with you, Sam.
Yeah.
So, if you guys haven't seen it, have you not seen the original Blob from 1958? It still holds up. It's cheesy, but it's really fun.
Also,
it's a
highly
good
recommend.
classic.
If you've seen the Chuck Russell remake
Is
Blob is also
gnarly.
good too.
I've actually
yeah.
never seen the remake.
Oh, it's so cool.
Maybe that'll be my
It's a
next
good one.
poppin'.
Yeah,
It's a good one.
it better be popping.
Is
Noel.
it me?
So, what's popping?
I've watched a show. I got caught up on a show and finished a show that no one's been talking about. Like I feel like I don't see this anywhere on my algorithm, on my feed. It's nowhere in the zeitgeist. I don't know if you've ever heard of Star Wars. No?
Is that they go like this?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's got wizards and stuff
I
too.
know that
Yeah.
one.
Oh yeah.
Gandalf.
Yeah.
Dumbledore?
Yeah. You shall not
Yeah.
pass.
Yeah.
Lightsaber.
Yeah.
Kind of, yeah.
Of course. The Balrog kind
Yeah.
of. Of course.
Yeah. It's that.
So the Acolyte.
The Acolyte. Yeah, we finished the Acolyte. I really, really liked it at the end of the day.
Okay, cool.
Like the whole thing. But I think it suffers from the same problem that literally every single Disney Plus prestige television show suffers from, and that's pacing. It's like artificially 6 episodes or 8 episodes, and things get stretched out. Now, it's a hit or miss in so much as, am I glad there's breathing room for like these characters to grow and larger conversations and deeper things? Yes. Do I still think that it's paced pretty terribly?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, it's the same conversation that we have about comic books where it's like I'm reading in issues, but things just kind of end mid-sentence or mid-scene, and it's like, oh, this was actually probably supposed to be a graphic novel.
Yeah.
So the Acolyte, most of the Acolyte feels like it's a bunch of scattered pieces, but by the end, it's like, oh, this is actually really cool, and it all makes sense, and these choices they made over here made sense here, but it was not the best weekly experience, but overall, it has
Net
some
positive.
of the absolute best lightsaber choreography.
Oh, tell me about it.
Period. Well, I mean, like,
It's really good.
it's so good. There's a lot of wushu influences, which we talked about. For those of you who don't know, wushu it's a fake martial art that was developed specifically for like old kung fu films.
Yeah,
Like
wire
the wire
work.
fu, the wire work. The most I think the most accessible example of it is Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
For sure.
But that idea of sweeping moves and like floating, of course,
Weightlessness.
Jedi could do that.
Yeah, yeah.
Of course they can.
Yeah.
So the idea of incorporating that and like the coolest thing that Soul, like the main character, does is he doesn't fight people. He just continuously blocks them in like the most effortless water ways. I'm like, this is great. It is absolutely worth watching. I think problems that neckbeard, mouth breathing idiots had at the beginning were resolved. So if they only maybe paid attention instead of popping off their mouths 4 weeks ago, then they maybe wouldn't look like
Idiots.
well, they already looked like idiots. They wouldn't look like bigger fucking idiots.
Uninformed.
Yeah. Well, it's so silly. It's like, well, how come this? Like, maybe they don't give you the answers right away. It's the same thing with like when we talk about comic books. Like, are you ever going to bring this character back? Why the fuck would they tell you that?
Yeah.
Why would they tell you exactly how they're going to tell the story in advance? You smooth brain. Stop it.
You know what they remind me of? When I would sit down with my mom to watch something, and then she would just interrupt throughout the movie going, who's that? Why'd you do that?
You're like, I'm also watching this for the first time.
Why'd you do that? It's like if you wait, the movie will tell you.
And you know what? To first Acolyte worth watching. Don't listen to the feedback. Even the stuff that was
Well, listen to his feedback.
even the stuff that was shaggy is still worth it because it leaves it in a really, really fascinating place. Like how it ends, I think you'll be interested in.
I'm like 20 minutes away from the last episode.
And the last 20 minutes have a hell of a lot of like stuff.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so like
Good.
including like if this gets a second season, that shit's going to be very awkward.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
like really cool.
Cool.
But yeah, it's totally worth seeing. But to your point of the movie should tell me, I'm going to segue into, hey, JD.
Oh my gosh. Hi.
What's popping?
I'll tell you what's popping. You and I were popping together yesterday. Pop. We went to the movies and saw.
Good reference.
Starburns.
We went and saw
Never die.
Long Legs, of which I did not have any information pulled up. It is a horror movie that is
Written and directed by Osgood Perkins, starring Micah Monroe and Nicolas Cage.
I've enjoyed
Cage.
his other work.
As well as Alicia Witt and Blair
Alicia
Underwood.
Witt. I
and
was so happy to see
Kiernan
her.
Shipka and like a bunch of people show up in this flick.
Kiernan Shipka was in his other one, Black Coat's Daughter.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yeah,
Which
and
I saw.
love that one. Yeah.
A couple years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, did you know Osgood Perkins is Anthony Perkins' son?
Yeah.
Looks just like him.
Yeah, he
also,
does.
he's in the movie.
He's also in Legally Blonde.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
He's like the nerdy guy who like Elwood stands up for. Like she pretends like he dumped her because he's trying to ask out a hot girl who's like standing up. She comes over and slaps him. And she's like, "Where were you?" And then the girl is like, "Oh, you must be hot." Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's very important.
A very important part.
Well, it's very important for her character.
It was.
She's not a vapid piece of garbage.
Yeah.
She's like, yeah.
Yeah.
He's in the movie in the background on a television as a preacher.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's
that's
actually pretty
cool.
Yeah. And then it's revealed that, he's killed everybody in Maxine. I was kidding.
Oh my god! I was like, wait. I have to just spoil Longlegs. I was like, hold
I'm
on.
not going to spoil Longlegs, so don't worry about it. I will say that the movie is vibes.
Oh, it's vibes.
It's vibes.
Like Mandy.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
No, it's not Mandy vibes, but it is vibes.
Like, you just got to get into
Mandy
vibes.
is vibes.
But
Not the same vibes as
finish?
Mandy. Sorry.
So it's vibe. No, I'm talking to him because he wants to. Go ahead. Just do it. Do it.
aesthetically, yes. But I don't have questions about the motivation and the plot of Mandy like I would for Longlegs.
Yeah. I'm talking about
Mandy doesn't have holes.
There are it's palpable. The vibes is a movie has a lot of vibes.
Sure.
And this movie is mostly vibes. There are a lot of, I don't want to call them plot holes, questions that the movie didn't think of, I think, didn't want to answer. So we walked out being like, well, why did this happen? Well, what about this? Oh, how about that thing over there? Oh, that was weird, right? Did that make any sense? Not really.
I think we both enjoyed it, but like we walked out thinking like, so when this happened, was it this? Huh. But then wouldn't that mean that this? Oh, okay. Like I want to be clear. I don't think a movie needs to give you answers.
Yeah.
But it
I don't
also,
want this to do my handheld.
it also should make sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you can't like just show something in a context and then seemingly undermine it with the
It
reveals.
sets rules and then doesn't obey those rules that it set.
Yeah, it was interesting.
Yeah. I think my other problem is Nicolas Cage's performance. If Nicolas Cage never did what Nicolas Cage is known for doing and then got in this movie and did Nicolas Cage shit, I'd be like, oh my God, that's so creepy. But because he does it in 9 out of 10 performances, it's just Nicolas Cage caging his way through another movie.
Totally unfair. I think it's maybe 6 out of 10 performances.
Oh, my bad.
It's not 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
It's just he
Playing
does it
Nickelback on the cage.
like the high pitched screaming thing.
Toot toot.
It's just So everyone's talking about how off putting and creepy he is, and I'm like, he looks like kind of creepy, and he's just kind of annoying.
I was gonna ask, like, I saw the trailer where they had, oh my God, the main actress's name,
Micah Monroe.
Micah Monroe, like on a heart rate monitor,
that'd
and
be great.
they block out his face.
Yeah, we watched it here.
God, yeah, I know.
He's
yeah.
They also spend most of the movie blocking out his face.
but like in fun little ways.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
you see him in profile, but not from a distance, or it cuts away right
From
before,
here down.
or from here down. Like, he's a little wonky.
It's strange to me because the movie feels very competent and it's really well made, and the shots are great, and everything about it is wonderful except for these questions that I have at the end where I'm just like, well, that didn't make sense.
Yeah, when you set up this like spider web of mystery / a chain of events that the main character is trying to unravel. The movie gives us answers, but those answers don't comport with things that we saw earlier in the movie.
Yeah.
So it's a fine experience when you're going through it, but when you remember an hour beforehand when you saw something like,
Well, why was that way?
that doesn't, I mean, wait, so that must have happened at this time over this, without that. So like I end up doing like mental yoga to try and figure out how this one very cool looking scene that was very disturbing actually fits into what the movie told me.
Yeah. Yep.
Which is just kind of weird.
Yeah. So apparently test audiences praised Nicolas Cage's performance and mentioned that he was so off-putting that it could potentially scare viewers off.
I believe that.
Do you?
Yeah, and so much.
I mean, like maybe people like my mom.
You have to remember that we are over consumers
with horror and stuff.
with horror, and just we know more. We consume more. We know more. We are used to
so
these tropes of his, and we're just
Sometimes I'm like,
yeah.
wow.
Normies would probably shit their pants for a good chunk of these movies, like a lot of the pieces in this flick that are very unnerving.
Well, if you're a normie who wants to shit your pants, go see Longlegs.
Yeah,
They never tell us why it's called Longlegs
4 full diapers,
or why his name is Longlegs.
Also, why
Why long? Right.
after the pod, Dylan, we're going to talk about this because that was another thing that really bothered me. Like,
Oh, you never found
everything that's everything that sets the entire movie up seems arbitrary. Yeah. And like, why? Why'd you do that?
So Dylan saw it. Dylan's in the booth.
It's because he wore his long legs today.
Right. I get, like, that's a fun line in the beginning of the movie.
I don't know.
Why is he called long legs?
Also, was he
long legs today?
Was he identifying himself as Longlegs with notes before that instance because there was another family? Or
Anyway.
I don't know. I think I feel like they thought of a cool name and worked backwards. I don't know.
Did everybody see the movie Prometheus? Like the alien movie?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That had a lot of problems with that movie too. But I remember when Damon Lindelof wrote it and Ridley Scott kept changing his script, I think.
Oh, really?
He was removing answers out. He was removing like things out to like artificially make it more mysterious or interesting, which just made the movie.
I don't like that movie.
Yeah, it made the movie confusing for no reason.
Yeah.
Versus, and that's what this kind of feels like. Like, oh, this is a really cool scene, a really cool shot, and we need a way in, so we'll make them do this, even though that doesn't make sense for the goals of the character. Like, it just feels like they were adding or removing things because vibes cool, as opposed to like, does it actually make sense?
Yeah, in the confines of the story you set up. For sure.
But it was worth seeing.
Yeah, that's true. After all this. Go see it.
Totally worth seeing.
I'm gonna see it. I love Osgood Perkins. Like, I love the things of his that I've seen. I'm a huge fan of Blackcoat's Daughter.
It is not a slow burn like Blackcoat's Daughter.
Yeah.
This is slightly more.
It burns a little harder.
Burns harder. Yeah,
burns harder immediately.
It's a faster burn.
You're just
apparently.
immediately on fire. As soon as you're in there.
He's getting a lot of shit online.
Is he?
Osgood Perkins?
Yeah, some interviews he's done how he hates contemporary horror.
Oh, I haven't
He's
seen
allowed
that.
to hate contemporary horror.
He called some names out. Like he didn't like call out names so much as like it was just the most popular thing right now. He's like, I avoid it. I don't watch it. I don't like it. I saw X for reasons. I'm never gonna see Pearl. I'm never gonna see Maxine. Like it was like he just because I think it was like it's popular right now. He was just kind of calling out Ty West. Like I don't give a shit.
Right.
Yeah. I was like, and people are kind of jumping down his throat. I was like, I mean, I don't give a shit either, buddy, but maybe don't put it on main.
Yeah. So anyway, you should go watch it now so that we can talk about it.
All right, bye.
Yeah. So that's what's popping this week. Move on to our main review, which is called Twister from 1996. Not to be confused with Twisters, the requel that's out.
The new film
that has
July
nothing
19th.
to do with
I got my tickets tomorrow.
Oh, really?
Oh.
Yeah, Sam and I are going to have a date night.
Oh, cute.
She's a big Twister fan.
I miss date nights.
No, don't have a kid.
Written by Michael Crichton and Annie Marie Martin. Noel, do we know Annie Marie Martin from anything?
No, but I'll look it up.
Great. Directed by Jan de Bont.
Jan de Bont.
That's what I said.
Of Speed.
Oh,
no way. I didn't know that.
Jan de Bont's face should be on like the 90s Mount Rushmore of action directors. Yeah,
who else would be on Mount Rushmore?
Michael Bay. You got 90s. Michael Bay, Jan de Bont, Tony Scott.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know. I'll come up with a fourth.
All right.
Starring Helen Hunt.
Catherine Bigelow.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we'll give it to Catherine. Oh, James Cameron. Maybe
there could be five. There could be five people. It's our rules. We're building this mountain.
It's our mountain.
You know what? Catherine Bigelow and James Cameron were married at the time, so we'll have
half and half.
Yeah,
like Two-Face.
Like we'll have her and him on her
on her back,
creepily like giving her a back
like
rub,
Yoda backpack style,
or just like, or doing like a what is the meme of the Flash actor just like
my god at the grave.
Just he'll just literally be like crouching on her shoulder like James Cameron, how he should be remembered.
Also starring Bill Paxton, Jamie Gertz, Cary Elwes, Alan Ruck, and Philip Seymour Hoffman. Two storm chasers on the brink of divorce must work together to create an advanced weather alert system by putting themselves in the crosshairs of extremely violent tornadoes. Released May 10th, 1996, it grossed $495 million, and Noel went ahead and adjusted for inflation, so it would have grossed $991 million
today.
Damn.
Doesn't it make you feel weird about inflation?
Yeah.
The fact that
real weird about inflation.
50, like 100% increase in 30 years. Yeah.
And yet not in wages.
Oh, no, not at all.
I was gonna say something. Yep.
And so 1996, for those of you who weren't around or...
Vote blue, everyone.
Yeah.
I was there.
The Craft came out this year. Mission Impossible, The Rock, which...
It's Michael Bay.
Speaking of action movies. Ransom, starring... Was the anti-Semitic guy? What's his name?
Mel Gibson.
Mel Gibson.
Yeah, give me back my son.
Mars Attacks, The Frighteners, underrated film, by the way. Y'all should be checking out The Frighteners.
Yeah, The Frighteners.
Starring Michael J. Fox.
Top 5 Michael J. Fox movies.
Thinner, which is a Stephen King John, and then Star Trek First Contact, and the highest grossing movie that year, Independence Day.
Oh, classic.
This-
The Craft is one of my favorite movies to this
So
day.
good.
To this
So
day.
good.
Yeah.
I did a poster for it for the Colonial.
Seen it.
So the second highest grossing movie of that year was this movie, Twister.
So Anne-Marie Martin only has 2 writing credits to her name.
Oh.
Twister and Twisters, based on
No
characters
shit.
created by.
Wow.
She is an actress who was in Prom Night, the Sledgehammer
original Prom
TV
Night?
series,
The OG Prom Night? I love that.
Doctor Strange TV movie.
Wow, neat.
Yeah, deep in the weeds actress. A lot of television. Highway to Heaven. She was hooker at a bar in Runaway, which was that movie with Gene Simmons and Tom Selleck.
Oh, never mind. I was thinking of a different Runaway.
Oh no, sorry. Halloween
She in
2.
Prom Night, just some back.
Darcy Esmont.
Oh,
Prom Night. Wendy Richards.
interesting.
She had a name.
She's bouncing around Hollywood as an actress, and it's like Alice, I don't know if you know this, when you see like written by credits, if it's spelled out A-N-D, that means this person was rewritten by this person.
Oh.
If it's an ampersand, that means they wrote it together and they share credit together.
Oh,
If you see multiple, no, this stuff's awesome.
That's cool.
Arbitration is kind of fun.
Oh, I have a question. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, if you like are watching I watch credits. I like credits. It shows like 5 names. That means the movie's probably shit.
Yeah.
Because
they
like
get it right.
a writing team and then this other writing team and then another person. Like that means it was constantly rewritten, and it was rewritten so much that arbitration decided that all of these people needed to have a credit. It means it's probably a puzzle masterpiece.
Garbage,
Yeah.
My question is, in credits, you'll go through all of the cast, and then you'll go like the A cast, right? And then you'll go through B cast, and then let me see cast. And then at the end, it'll be like, and Meryl Streep.
Yeah.
Why? What determines who gets the and?
It's contractual.
Oh.
So like
I get all ands? Like that, I can put that in my contract? Like I want to be anded.
Yeah, because like it's kind of like a prestige thing. Like you are like a higher or other than the A actors. Yeah. So like if you watch like Avengers Endgame or something, they all like go, but then you'll see like and Samuel Jackson with Meryl Streep.
Oh.
Including and then introducing. Like all of those titles are just based on whatever like the agents will push for contractual reasons, because there are like different pay scales and pay grades and profit share that are associated with some things.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Love
I love
so
this shit.
Pink is in the chat going,
Love this
Blob
shit.
remake is the cat's ass. I'm going to assume the cat's ass is like the dog's bollocks, which means very, very good. The Acolyte sounds like it's going to make another great compressed fan film like Obi-Wan Kenobi did, and I was underwhelmed by Longlegs.
So are we, yeah.
Right? Super intrigued for Eggers' third film, Nosferatu. Same. Good trailer.
I'm actually just intrigued because I didn't give a shit about The Lighthouse.
Oh, I liked The Lighthouse. I did.
I was in a bad mood when I watched that movie.
Oh, no, you got it. Yeah.
Yeah. Costa really enjoyed it.
Were
you in a bad mood because of Costa? And he was
No.
just like, you were just like staring at him the whole time, like
you don't fucking care.
And he's just like,
you're just
I
watching
love
this movie.
this
You don't
movie.
give a shit.
No,
Yeah.
no, it wasn't Costa's fault. I wanted to watch. I forget. I was like, I want to watch a scary movie. I wasn't feeling good, and Costa's like, let's watch this new movie, The Lighthouse. I've heard it's scary, and I was like, sitting there, and I'm like, this isn't what I wanted.
Yeah.
This isn't what I wanted to watch.
Yeah,
and he was loving it, so I didn't want to be like, let's watch something else. I was like,
I didn't
gotta
care
sit
for
through
it.
this.
Now, to be
Yeah.
fair, I haven't finished The Northman, which I heard is 10 times better.
Oh, I've never seen The Northman.
That's his other movie.
Oh. I've heard good things.
The Lighthouse. And I'd watched. I think I saw Midsommar and the Lighthouse like within a week of each other, because they have the same kind of like following, like film Twitter, elevated.
They're related. Yes.
Yeah,
I get it.
Midsommar, I vibed with hard.
Yep.
The Lighthouse, I didn't give a shit about anyone in that movie, so it was hard for me to actually like click into it. Other than like, I understand what they're doing with the static camera. I understand what they're doing with the shot. I understand what they're doing with the poem. I get it. But I just couldn't care.
And I famously love Robert Pattinson, and
he's my dude.
Willem Dafoe, but like I don't know, I couldn't get into it.
Heresy.
Yeah.
Heresy.
I'm gonna give it another shot.
Heresy.
I want to give it another shot.
Hershey.
I feel like it's Hershey. I love
Not my
chocolate.
favorite chocolate, but yeah, that's cool.
So anyway, Twister happened, and that's the movie that we all watched this week, so we can discuss it. Now, you and I know, shut up. So, Alice, have you seen Twister before now?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Did you rent it at Blockbuster?
Probably. My mom really liked it. It was like my mom enjoyed this movie. I remember watching it with her, but I was young at the time. So I remember watching this with Costa, and I'm like, oh, I didn't know they were like following, like my young brain didn't know they were following the tornadoes for science. I thought they just liked to look at them. Like, I was like 5 watching this movie, and I'm like, why do they have to get that close to watch it?
You can see it from over here.
I'm like, they can see it from far away. Why do they have to keep getting closer? And then I watched the movie, I'm like, oh, they're scientists. They're not just crazy people.
That's adorable.
Yeah.
They're rock star meteorologists. Yeah.
So you grew up with the movie. You've seen it? Yeah, okay,
I'd
all
seen
right.
it, yeah.
Yeah, I saw it in the theaters when it came out. I think I went with my mom at the time. And it was delightful at the time, but it wasn't one of those movies that stuck with me like, oh man, I really got to get Twister on cassette, VHS or DVD or whatever. Like, I
thought you were talking about the soundtrack, which I did have on CD.
No, I didn't.
Great. Yeah.
But so watching it, so tell me your experience.
I've always loved it.
You bought the soundtrack.
I begged my parents to go. Like I'm a fucking nerd. I know when movies are coming out, and
Not the podcast. You have to be embarrassed about being
I know.
nerd.
Well,
I mean, I would in the newspaper. What was it? There's no internet, right? Or very terrible internet that's not accessible to anyone. So I would get the Entertainment Weekly of the summer movies coming out, and then kind of earmark exactly what I'm going to try and get to go see and what order it's in and stuff. And this one came out early. This was like a May release.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I got my mom and dad to take me with, like, I think we were with our cousins, and I fucking loved it. I was already like primed for it. I knew who Jan de Bont was.
Whoa.
Yeah, man, I'm weird. Yeah, I saw Speed, and I remembered his name, and I was like, oh, his next movie is this tornado movie.
Yeah,
ooh,
I'm in.
And the previews were great, and I just was so down, and I remember loving it. We went with my cousin who was older, like 10 years older, and I remember with him being like, oh, wasn't it great? And he was just like, it was fine. And I didn't care. I was just like, it was still fun.
You're wrong. It was amazing.
It was awesome.
Yeah. I want to see it again.
Yeah. And I didn't see it until VHS, and I did save up money to buy the VHS.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's adorable.
But I never thought it was great. I just liked it a lot and had fun with it.
It is a fun family film.
Yeah. I've come to learn that there's some people that are hardcore about this movie.
Like Twister fans?
Yeah, like it inspired them to want to be meteorologists when they were little, or like I want to be a storm chaser when I grow up. They probably didn't, but still, like there is that level of fan for this flick.
That's really interesting. I mean, something for everybody.
What did you think about it now? Revisiting as an adult.
I had a lot of fun with it. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I liked it a lot. Now knowing that they were scientists trying to track a
It
star
made more sense.
instead of just people looking at tornadoes.
They're not just like jackasses.
Yeah. No, this is Jackass. They're just running after a tornado with Steve-O.
He was slapping each other in front of tornadoes.
No, I really liked it. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Same. I was really surprised by how immediately. I was immediately swept up because everybody's in this movie.
Because it's a tornado.
Every,
It seems
everybody's in this movie. Every like character actor of the time was here, and I was just like, oh, hey, look, oh, hi.
I know. I forgot Philip Seymour Hoffman was in it.
Yeah. Like he was like
R.I.P.,
the
by the
hippy
way.
dippy guy.
Yeah, and the actor whose name I forget, who's Cameron in Ferris Bueller.
Alan Ruck.
Alan
Ruck. Yes, I love him
Succession
too.
as well.
Succession. I was going to say that next. Yeah.
And Speed.
Oh my God, that's right.
Yeah, that was the first time I remember after
Ferris
Bueller's Day Off being like, oh, look at there he is. He's back. Good for him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He got another job.
Sure, he was glad to hear that. 10 years between jobs.
I wrote him a
He's
letter.
really upset about
Good
it.
for you.
Yeah. Good for you, bud.
So, immediately I was like wowed by all of the people in the movie. And then, the way they start off the movie, you already have Bill Paxton and Jamie Gertz are a new couple about to get married, and he has to go get the papers signed, the divorce papers signed by Helen Hunt. And she's in the middle of working with their entire crew on these machines. What were they called? Dorothy. Dorothy 1, 2, and 3,
Cute
I think,
name.
right? Yeah, that was pretty cute.
There were 4 Dorothys.
Were there 4 Dorothys?
There were
4 of these. So so immediately there's like character work happening, and you're kind of invested already. Like, oh, you got kind of a triangle, and she's clearly like not really ready for the divorce, and he's like ready to move on, and now we're getting. Or is he?
He's talking about his new weatherman job, but then he gets swept up in the tornado.
Yeah. So immediately I was into it, and I thought it was a really fun action movie. I forgot how much of an action movie it was. And there are some harrowing effects. There's things that happened in this movie that I was like, oh shit, oh damn, so it really surprised me.
The whole we were talking about this earlier. The whole drive-in sequence is structured and paced like a horror sequence.
It was beautiful. Yeah.
Like it's literally like
and it's The Shining.
And
thing.
The Shining.
Yeah.
It is set up like a horror sequence, and then it becomes like a home invasion sequence, like right on the end of it. It's really, really well done.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing you can do. They can't fight it. They can't hide from it. They just have to like hunker somewhere and hope they don't get
hit
killed.
by a car.
Yeah.
Like you get murdered by a Jeep.
That is pure terror. We watched this the other night, and I hadn't revisited it in like 15 years or maybe more. So I was going off member berries, and I just assumed it wouldn't hold up.
Oh.
And I was wrong.
Yeah, man.
This movie is so fucking lean. But to your point, I just had a problem with The Acolyte. It's bloated with character, which and exposition and story points, which are great, like when you're reading a novel or it's a larger piece. But you probably could shave it down to just 2 hours. Yeah. This movie is so goddamn lean.
Yeah.
There's
no fat on this movie.
No, we are literally introduced to everyone driving in. It's structured like a play where you don't need monologues or exposition or background. It's just everybody contextually, organically is talking about where they are in the moment, and then you know everything you need to know.
You know what?
They like drop you in the middle. They don't need to.
So well done.
And they never explain. I didn't realize you were saying this. They don't explain any of their jobs.
Well,
through the movie, they're doing their job, and you see them doing the job, and you're like, oh, okay, so that's his part,
Yeah, absolutely.
Normally it'd be like, oh, this is Johnny, and he's the map guy,
Yeah, you have one of those like
Johnny. This is Johnny Maps.
Johnny Maps, the map guy. Classic.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Everything is told to you in action and context of a scene, and it makes it flow, and you don't get that shit anymore. Like nobody is that confident with making movies anymore, and I sent a clip.
Oh,
yes, you did. I watched
this.
It.
Blew my mind. So hold on. So
favorite.
We're watching it the other night, Sushan and I, there's like some interesting. I was thinking about the music of it because like there's a wide shot from bird's eye view on them, and they're driving, and the soundtrack is really amped up and kind of like doofy. I meant to say doofy, but it came out doofy.
I was just going with it.
It's like doofy. It was like a real doofy soundtrack.
Doofy.
Where it's just like, oh, this is a bit much, but it's kind of working on me. And then there's like all of a sudden there's an electric guitar out of nowhere, which happens nowhere else in the movie. And I was like, what is an interesting choice? Okay. And then Noel.
It's just a needle job. So In the 90s, for anybody that's under 30 watching this or listening to this, in the 90s and in the 80s, soundtracks were a very, very big deal. Like studios would make deals with artists and record labels months to years in advance of a movie in production, and they would have these songs or these tracks during production or beforehand, so they would kind of like bake them into where they were going to be. Not just song. Needle drops, right? Not just like, or like Super Mario Brothers. Where it's just like, fucking, why is Take On Me here?
Yeah.
Like, it makes no sense.
They're just like put on Spotify and it's like, well, I guess that song goes with that scene now.
Yeah. Oh, we got money, pay for it. It's fine. Like there was a organic nature and craft as to how music was incorporated into a movie, and they would happen one of two ways: either diegetic, which is someone's listening to a radio in the movie and you'd hear the song, or as a piece of the movie. What I miss and what this movie does, probably the best example of it, is
crazy.
The composer of the score, Mark Mancia.
Yeah.
He had the Van Halen song beforehand, knew where it was going to be in the movie, and developed music cues and orchestra that led organically into the song. So when the needle drops and you hear the first sting of the guitar, you've already heard chords and strings of the same notes for like a minute.
2 minutes.
Yeah.
It's like 2 minutes of lead up because you sent me the clip to explain what you were talking about. And I was like, okay, where's
and you start to hear the dun, 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 just with chorus. And then all of a sudden it's a fucking guitar.
Yeah.
And it happens
seamlessly.
It happens so wonderfully too, where like they're deciding, they're talking with Rabbit, who's the map guy.
Yeah.
No, you should turn here.
Not Johnny Maps.
Not here. Yeah,
Not Johnny Maps. Different Maps.
You should turn here. Oh, there's no road here. Just do it. And then as soon as they make the turn and like it's a hairpin and a bunch of other cars, it stings the guitar. And it's just, it is like the most well done. Making a movie is a miracle. And to have every single team sync that well to make a movie, just a scene, is so fucking beautiful. The composer, the music producer, the editor, the director, all of it just like fucking working for like one music cue. So fucking
was that common? Because that's you telling me about it this earlier is the first time I've ever heard of such a thing.
I can't think of really good examples right now, but yeah, it was more common. Yeah. Or there'd be a song associated with the movie. So like Top Gun, Take My Breath Away.
Yeah.
That doom 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 is a part of the score of the movie.
Oh,
and
okay.
It's and you hear it.
Yes.
Like there would be these like large things that were baked into the scores of the movies. Oh. Actually, I think the last time I could think of it, Daft Punk, when they did the score for Tron Legacy, there's a bunch of like they had actual like tracks for the soundtrack, but they built like a score with Joe Trapani's around it to like hit the track beats.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's just I love that shit.
Pink is in the chat saying, and to some people, hyper-stressing the soundtrack by shoving it in your face could be annoying. That shit got obnoxious in the 80s.
Yes, but this is perfect.
Yeah, this was really well done.
I'll send you the clip, Pink. Yeah. It's really
even
if you hate Van Halen, it is such a well done sequence. Like them leaving Meg's house into like leaving Wakita to almost careen into Cary Elwes' bad guys.
Love that scene. Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
This movie's just driving in weather, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
Great. Honestly, yeah.
It's a chase movie.
Yeah.
Except it's a tornado being chased.
Can I just comment on something that's on the screen right now?
Absolutely. Yes?
The recording of a camel's moan was slowed down and used as a sound of the tornado.
That is cool, too.
What's a camel moan sound like?
Apparently
like a
tornado.
A fast tornado.
Really fast tornado.
Somebody who listened to a camel was like, sounds a little like a fast tornado. If we could just like slow that bitch down.
Yeah, I want to know. That's why it caught my attention. I'm like, who discovered?
Yeah.
Because tornadoes too slow.
Yeah.
Oh, God, I love that shit.
Foley. Is that what that's called?
Yeah, Foley artists. Foley work.
There are some people on TikTok that I follow that are Foley artists.
Yeah, they're so cool.
Yeah, and you just see how they make all the different sounds. And like, it's insane to me that they're doing it in real time a lot.
All right, Pink jumped in. I love the Tron Legacy soundtrack. Good example. Hated the Dream Warriors. Awful example. And you're right to hate that. Those are just needle drops that have weren't like part of the movie. It was just that was the era.
I like the song Dream Warriors.
But that was the era when it was just like we have an artist to do one big song and we're gonna play it 3 times in the movie and the credits.
Oh, it's still my favorite nightmare though. Dream Warriors.
4?
3. 3.
Isn't 3 Dream Warriors?
Dream
That's what I
Child
said,
is
3.
5. What's 4?
4 is Dream Child and then Dream Master.
4 is Child? I thought 5 was Child.
Shoot, maybe it's Dream Master and then Dream Child.
You got to look this up.
Yeah, I'm sure Pink could tell us. But yeah, no, 3 has always been my favorite, which is Dream Warriors.
Carry on, guys. I'm good.
So anyway, I was
moaning.
with a very loud bass and a very loud and bass-heavy surround channel. This film was notorious for destroying surround speakers in theaters worldwide. And Pink chimed in. So it's Dream Warriors, Dream Master is number 4, and then Dream Child is number 5.
Thank you. I always knew Child was 5. It's just I forgot the order of the two. Warriors is best. And why Patricia Arquette couldn't come back on it?
Right? Oh, that's such a shame that she didn't come back. I think Master is better than Child.
Absolutely. Child's the low point.
And then after Bill Paxton died in 2017, Spotter Network choreographed 200 storm chasers to spell out BP with their GPS tracker blips on a radar display to honor him. This kind of tribute had only been done 5 times before, and it was the first time it had been done for someone who wasn't a storm chaser.
Well, I mean,
That's
2017,
cool.
I'm sure half of those people that were storm chasers were inspired by this flick.
right?
Oh,
Yeah,
definitely.
because they were like a younger
Definitely.
20s, 30s.
Will they do the same for
Helen Hunt?
Helen Hunt
HH.
and
you know,
Jamie
sexism,
Gertz.
maybe. Probably not Jamie Gertz.
and
She couldn't handle it.
Ellen Ruck?
Probably Ellen. Did they do it for Philip Seymour Hoffman?
Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Oh my God.
Did you
They got to get
do
the
a
P.
PS,
yeah.
H? Did you do
That's
a
a
PSH?
lot.
No.
3 letters.
Yeah, this movie, I'm very happy with my revisiting of it. I thought it was really. It is a solid, slick, fun movie, and
This was the first movie released on DVD.
Yeah, it was one of those cardboard ones too.
With the whip. Oh, no, I'm thinking of cassette tapes.
No, it was like the cardboard clip, not the plastic
Yeah.
jewel case.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. That's so
Also
neat.
too, they just released, and it was last released on HD DVD. They actually just released a 4K Blu-ray of it, a high definition 4K, and some people are freaking out about it.
Yeah.
So
Are you one of them?
no, because Jan de Bont changed some things.
A special, like a Lucas special edition.
Kind of.
The tornado shoots first.
They
Actually, shit, it shot first in the movie. Right,
It
the
did.
dad dies.
It does.
Yeah. Anyway, shit.
spoilers
Sorry. Go ahead.
for that man who got sucked out.
Yeah.
First of all, don't hold the door. Fucking stand in the back.
That's what Costa
Just
said.
go back. Just get back
of
there
us-
with your
both-
family.
Both of us are just like, don't hold the door.
Yeah, let go, dude.
Go in the back. It's like a tornado doesn't have arms.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be like,
doesn't
hey,
have
let me just grab you and then we'll go. Like fucking idiot.
And also,
such a
Steven
dummy.
Spielberg's idea was to kill off the dad. Originally, the dad was supposed to live, but I couldn't imagine this movie without the dad dying because of that scene in the highway where she's trying to get all the sensors and she's flipping out because her dad died and she wants to get to the tornado. She has this sort of obsession with it.
A vendetta, if you will.
And even with that,
Like a vendetta.
Good for her.
Yeah. I'm gonna kill that tornado.
Good for her.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when the big tornado came up, like Costa and I were being really quiet, and I like whispered, "I'm like, that's the one that killed her dad." And he just started laughing.
And she's gonna take Dorothy and shove it right up his ass. Yeah.
So anyway, what were you gonna say?
I forgot.
Sorry.
Oh, okay. So Jan de Bont changed. So
changed some things, yeah.
First of all, the fact that Bill Paxton has like ESP for fucking tornadoes and weather patterns is just so
Yeah.
stupid. But
I loved it.
the movie's incredibly lean, so you don't have time to even think about how stupid that is.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I know where it's going.
He's a
I
human
love that
barometer.
scene.
the idea-
I love that scene in
He just
any movie
fills up the
where
dirt.
it's just
He's
like
looking at it.
Okay, that's what they change. So the greenage, he's seeing green. Originally on film, they couldn't figure out how to like really make the sky green, kind of like. So they did their best to kind of like. If you watched it on Max, that's how it looked, where it's just kind of tinty green in the sky. On the HD DVD, they actually like goes hard, like
Yeah, it
it's
goes-
a gel, like it's
Oh.
a gel like green of the whole sky.
oh, weird.
Which I'm like, all right, I guess it's
That's
a
a
choice.
bit much. Okay.
But my favorite version of that, where it's just like somebody like picks up sand or knows where it's going, or like, I believe it was Fast and Furious, which is part 4.
okay. Woof.
Dominic Toretto sees the site with which his wife was murdered in a car accident. So like she gets ran off the road, and he goes up to like the tread marks and just like sees patterns in the road, and just like, this was blah 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 NOS, these kinds of tires, and then he actually just like imagines the car crash, like the film shows you, like the car crash, and I was just like, well, I guess he's a fucking Jedi now.
Yeah.
This movie just keeps getting better. So we're gonna watch those next.
Great. Surround sound was new, says Sam. I'll never forget seeing it in theaters. It was a game changer. Pink says those snap cases on DVDs were terrible, cost-cutting garbage.
It's true.
It's true. Sam says that dad was stupid and deserved to die. She didn't say the second part.
It was implied.
Right.
was implied.
Has got to be a direct sequel, doesn't it? It literally has the OG Dorothy in it from the first movie.
Oh.
I think they're just remaking it. It is just a modern day remake. And what have you guys seen the trailers for it?
Yes.
I love the setup of the characters. Mm-hmm. The fact that the Glenn Powell character is basically a storm chaser, but he's a social media influencer version of a storm chaser. Oh. He takes people and films it. Almost like a tourism
So
thing.
he's going just to look at them.
Basically.
Guys thought.
He's monetizing the process. Yeah. And I was just like, that's actually a pretty good idea.
That's neat. Yeah. So my experience of watching Twisters, the trailer, is what? And I turned to Sushan. I think it was, it's of all the movies to bring back like 20 years later. Twister? Who's asking for another Twister? Like if this came out 3 years after Twister, we got Twisters, sure. But like I was dumbfounded. I was like, oh, I guess we're really just mining the bottom of the barrel.
I mean, I can't believe it took this long. It made
all the money.
Adjusted for inflation
almost all the money.
About $1 billion.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
That's what I mean.
And
like,
also, and
do it now.
At least it wasn't like 5 years later. Like there's whole 2 generations of consumers that did not see this movie in theaters.
But is this the type of movie that will get people to theaters? Because different time in '95.
It's tracking very, very well. Okay. Yeah, everyone is. A lot of people are describing it as like this year's Top Gun Maverick.
Oh,
where it's like just. People want something
good time at the movie,
recognizable, fun,
safe,
and that you could take more than yourself to, right? Like an
family
experience.
film.
Yeah. Because Deadpool and Wolverine, super niche, not so much.
Long Legs, not so much.
Not so much. Fall Guy, not so much.
Sam's. See now, Fall Guy. I can't believe that. Anyway,
but it wasn't recognized
awesome.
IP, and people just were like, "Oh, I can wait for
fun
digital for this." With stuff like Twister, it seems like it's supposed to be a large experience, so you go to the theaters for it. Yeah.
Sam C says they changed it disappeared. They changed the dynamic, and then the rest of the comment disappeared.
I read it. The female lead loses her storm chaser team as opposed to losing her family.
That's why she's not in the game anymore.
Yeah, being her origin story. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Mm-hmm. And we got twins in the trailer. Is nostalgic for we got sisters. I thought it was we got cows.
I love that.
A little bit both.
I remember being in the theater and the whole audience erupted.
Well, it's
when the cow just.
It's the other one too. It's just like 2 cows. I think it's the same cow.
Same cow.
I was like, it's very cogent.
It was a really charming movie, and Cary Elwes. I was happy to see him because I grew up loving The Princess Bride, and so that was enough. I was like, oh hey, look, it's good for you, Cary Elwes. You're getting more work.
Pink Apocalypse chimes in. If it turns out to be a direct sequel, you guys owe me a shot of whiskey. Listen, Pink.
We're on.
If it turns out to be a direct sequel, like they surprise us at the end with like a picture of the main actress with her father, Bill Paxton, or something. I'll send you a bottle of whiskey. Absolutely.
I hope you're right because
I'll
send you a bottle.
Eat my hat. Like I don't think they're gonna do that.
Sam says the same could be said for Bad News Bears and A League of Their Own series. Callbacks to 90s stuff is huge now. So wait, did they do another Bad News Bears recently?
Didn't they do it? Yeah.
There's a show?
I mean, a couple of years ago they did a remake with Billy Bob Thornton.
Yep, I thought that was like 10, 15 years ago.
I don't know.
A League of Their Own was awesome. I'm really bummed.
The show was really good, yeah.
I'm really bummed that they're not getting a season 2. I thought for sure it was a shoe-in.
Callbacks to 90s stuff is huge now. Yeah,
it's true.
There is a market for it. I think this movie, this IP just like fits right in it.
Long Legs takes place in the 90s.
Yeah, mid 90s.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
And also too, like Stranger Things is about in that era now too.
It's getting in the 90s. Yeah, it's like late 80s.
It's got to be in the 90s at this point. It's 10 years.
I hope we get another Speeds.
There was a Speed 2. There was a Speed 2.
I know.
Speed 2,
like
Cruise
Cruise Control.
with Willem Dafoe.
And who was Scott Speedman?
Nope.
Oh. What was his name?
Johnny Maps.
It was Jason Patrick.
Ah, shit. Okay. Oh, from the boom, 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 boom.
Losers.
Yeah. The explosion of the oil tanker was originally mistimed and was not caught on film. That oil tanker sequence was the one where I was like, holy shit, this movie's awesome. Where it just boom.
Also, apparently too, like Bill, everyone talks about how Bill Paxton was the nicest guy and was a joy to work with and super popular on set. The only person that has gone on record as having a bad time with Bill Paxton is Helen Hunt.
Oh no.
So apparently like it wasn't a great set for her. Like the sequence at the end where they're inside the twister, those lights, that was all practical.
Yeah.
Apparently like she went partially blind for a portion of it. Like
oh my God.
A lot of things happened to her on the set and I just probably vibes just didn't gel well with his like jovial, I'm gonna joke about everything nature.
Yeah.
So like there's that kind of mired about like them not enjoying this movie at all. Whereas Bill Paxton's just like all the behind the scenes footage, you see him like playing in sets, like Meg's house set where it's upside down. He's just like, I'm gonna take you on a tour and like does fun dumb shit, and you never see Helen Hunt anywhere.
Aw, poor Helen
I think
Hunt.
she had a bad time.
That's a shame. So anyway, the explosion of the oil tanker, they did not film it, decided not to tell the studio immediately, and the stunt was reset and filmed again, costing a rumored $500,000.
It was great. It's all worth it. They drive through a house, guys. They drive through a house.
They drive through a house.
I was going to
forgot
say,
about that.
I loved that scene. That was so fun.
good.
It hardly makes sense.
Nope.
In so much as like they show you inserts. It's just edited very well, but it hardly makes sense of like this giant Ram truck driving upstairs and then through bedrooms and out of it and then just out of the house. I'm like, how big is that fucking house? And then also like, it doesn't track.
No, that's not how physics work.
It doesn't track at all. But yeah,
we just rewatched it. They said sisters about the at the same time they said cows. Millennial nostalgia. Yeah. Pandering. Sam C says pandering. She was miserable. I love her character now more now being older. I didn't appreciate her when I was young. And Dorothy didn't fall off the truck bed.
We probably made a reference earlier. Dorothy falling off the truck bed.
Oh, okay. Dorothy was too light. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You know what? That's true. She was too light. And that's why she needed the truck to anchor it.
You know what I was surprised by this time? Because I totally forgot most of the movie, clearly, when I first saw it. I was waiting, and I would have been annoyed if they did this, but I was waiting for Jamie Gertz and Philip Seymour Hoffman's character to be like, it's okay that we're not getting divorced because my girlfriend is now making out with Philip Seymour Hoffman, but they didn't bother with that.
Dusty.
And we have just talked about the movie
suck
that would have
zone.
happened.
I would have been down with that, though.
Yeah.
I kind of would have.
Dusty's cool as hell.
Yeah, Dusty was fun. The suck zone.
Yeah, I was like, hey,
Suck
suck
zone.
zone. I like how he
saying
just
it.
wheels himself
And
in
he's like,
frame.
The suck zone.
She didn't fall off the truck despite crashing. Oh, Dorothy didn't fall off the truck despite crashing through a fucking house.
So she stayed on the truck bed in the house, is what you're saying.
Those straps are hardcore, Sam. I don't know if you know that.
So, let us know if you grew up watching Twister, if you're going to go watch Twister before you go see Twisters. If you're going to go see Twisters, are you excited about this movie?
Do you like the Twisted Sisters? Or you...
Twisted Sister was a band.
Yeah.
We're not going to take it. And then we continued to take it.
Oftentimes we'll revisit stuff from our youths or from 20, 30 years ago, and there's either like something you have to explain away or problematic, or it doesn't hold up to modern sensibilities, or it's just not good and you remembered poorly. This is a fun fucking movie.
Yeah.
And it totally holds up.
Hold up.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because they're a mix. It's a mix of practical and like they as far as I know, they actually did like create tornadoes in sets and then just like digitally shot that shit in or painted around. The movie's more than half practical. and they just
I love
paint
effects
digitally and
all
like
day.
insert, or like they use digital to cover up things or to add things, not just completely whole cloth, which is cool. And it's very expensive and time consuming. That's why I don't do it anymore.
According to urban legend, a tornado hit a drive-in theater in Stony Creek, Ontario, while this movie was playing.
My God.
In reality, a tornado hit a drive-in theater in Ontario, in Thorold, Ontario, on 96, damaging a screen. The movie was not playing when the tornado hit.
But it was scheduled
to play. That's right.
Yeah, the drive-ins were double features.
Now, what would you guys think? Do you like Bill Paxton in this role, or would you have preferred Tom Hanks? Because he was the original choice for this movie.
I didn't know that.
I will never not vote for Paxton.
Yeah, I love me some Paxton.
Bill Paxton's the shit.
What's your favorite Paxton? I got two faves. It's hard to pick one.
As a bit player, I mean,
Just
Aliens
your favorite
and
Paxton.
True Lies were wonderful.
Oh.
The sleazeball in True Lies, he was wonderful in that.
Game over, man.
That's
From
in Aliens, yeah.
Very. That's like
Dallas,
the only line people
yeah.
remember besides "Get away from her, you bitch."
Shit, I gotta think about this.
Frailty.
Oh yeah, well he
He directed that, right?
yeah, he directed
And
that. Oh, dude, A Simple Plan is a masterpiece.
I forgot that movie. Yeah.
Sam Raimi.
Yeah,
I love that.
I keep meaning to go back to that one. The horror with the vampires.
Titanic.
The biker vampires.
Oh, Lost Boys.
Near Dark.
No.
Near Dark.
Near Dark. Well, Lost Boys was
I forgot. He's in Weird Science. He's the older brother in Weird
Oh
Science.
my God,
Chet.
I forgot he's in
Chet
Weird
is
Science.
awesome.
I love Chet. Yeah, that's a great movie.
All bangers.
Anyway,
No misses.
let us know what you think. Email us at
Tombstone.
cultpopgo@gmail. Tombstone's so good. @gmail.com. Thanks so much for hanging out with us, and we'll talk at you later.
Dude.